All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Finding the inverse of a function. All right, I love it. Let's do it. First of all, what is the inverse of a function? A function's inverse, right? A function and its inverse is basically it's one undoes the action of another, right? And you've seen examples like this before. A parabola or x squared, the quadratic. This is the inverse of the square root function, right? And a cube function and the cubic function. A logarithmic function is the inverse of the exponential, right? Um, Looks like the equations we have here are rational. So let's find the inverse of these rational functions. Okay, let's start with f of x. Why not? There are three steps to finding the function's inverse. Okay, follow these steps, you'd be just fine. It does go a little bit more detail, but um, just for finding the equation of an inverse function, let's do that. Let's follow this procedure. So I went ahead and typed it up, but I covered it up because I just want to focus on one step at a time. All right, switch x and y. Okay, you might be looking at f of x over here and you're like, oh, but there's not a y there. Okay, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Okay, if you don't know, that's okay. You know now. F of x is y. These are the same thing, right? So I can rewrite f of x as y equals x to the negative first power plus 1. Okay. All right. So just in case you didn't know. All right. So let's do step 1 now. Switch x and y. So let me come up a little bit more room to work. Okay. So I'm going to switch x and y. Okay. So x is now over here where y was. And any exponent that's on x and y will stay exactly where it's at. I'm not going to bring it with me when I switch x and y. All right, so this negative 1 is going to stay right up there still. Plus 1. Okay, step 1 completed. Oh no, come back procedure. Oh, that didn't work out. Oh, I was on the biggest deal. Let's dump that. All right, solve for y. Sometimes this is easy, sometimes it's not. Okay, this can be the most complicated step, really. Yeah, actually, because the other two are just switching stuff. All right, solve for y. Okay, so this exponent on y to the negative first power. If you don't remember from algebra 2, okay, the negative power property, that just means you take the reciprocal, right? So I'm just going to drop this y down and make that exponent positive. And I still got this plus 1, don't forget about that. All righty, solving for y. All right. Well, we can definitely subtract 1 from both sides, right? Let's do that. X minus 1 equals 1 over y. Okay, now to clear out this denominator, okay, because y is down there, how do we get it out? Well, let's multiply everything by y. Multiply both sides, get multiplied by y. Okay, and do put parentheses around the quantity of x minus 1 because you're multiplying that whole side. Okay, and what will happen, yeah, what will happen is these y's will cancel. All right, that was the whole point. Now we're going to distribute this y. Actually, no. Let's not do that. Psych. Let's clean this up, right? What happened? What does it look like after those y's are canceled? We have y times the quantity of x minus 1. It's tempting to distribute that, right? Yeah, it was. Um, but that's okay if you did it. If you did it. So I just have it because when you see it like that, that's where your brain goes. Okay. All right, now y is being multiplied by the quantity of x minus 1. So I'm going to divide both sides by the quantity of x minus 1. So x minus 1, and this 1 gets divided by x minus 1, right? And this binomial will cancel with this one. And now we've solved for y. Y equals 1 divided by the quantity of x minus 1. Yay! Okay, we lost our procedure. Come here, procedure. Okay, so step 2 completed. Replace y with function notation. All right, we call this f inverse or inverse of x is fine too. All right, but what that looks like is, I'll write it over here. All right, f inverse. I'm gonna put a little negative 1 up there. Be careful. Please know that's not an exponent. Okay. That would make it a reciprocal function. Okay, it's not. That's not an exponent. Okay, it's just the inverse. I know it looks like it. It's kind of unfortunate, but replace y with this f inverse here. So inverse, all right, f inverse or inverse equals 1 over the quantity of x minus 1. And it's always nice to circle your final answer. Nice, we did it. Yeah, so basically, the reason this is important is this function and the other one will undo each other, right? The first one we started off with, the f of x, right? They'll undo each other, this one. Okay. Yeah, let's do g of x. Yeah, that'll be fun. Now, let's just go over here. We have a clean board to work with. Okay. If you need a reference back to the steps, that's totally fine. Okay. Let's pick a fun color. Decisions. I like the contrast because it just makes it stick out. Maybe yellow. Yellow and black have a lot of contrast. Okay, so remember g of x here is y. That's the same thing. So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals the quantity of 2x plus 3 divided by the quantity of x plus 2. Right. Now, step 1 tells us to switch x and y. And yes, there's more than one x over here on the right-hand side. So we're going to switch them both out. Yes. So x equals 2y. Wherever there's an x, there's now a y. Plus 3 divided by the quantity of y plus 2. Okay, cool. Now the part of solving for y. Let's do that. Let's solve for y here. Okay, so we got to get y on one side and everything else on the other, right? We don't like that fraction, right? Get out here, fraction. We got to divide both sides by the denominator. So this x over here on the left, he gets divided by the quantity. I'm so sorry. Multiply both sides by y plus 2 divided by the denominator. That was wrong. I misspoke. And the right-hand side gets multiplied by y plus 2 as well, right? So what will that do? Well, for the sake of not making a bunch of clutter, right, we're going to do that over here. All right, right-hand side, left-hand side is done. These two binomials cancel, right? I don't know what y is, right? There's actually infinite inputs there, but I know what something divided by itself is, right? Except for 0, that answer is going to be 1, right? 0 divided by 0, that's an inside joke. All right, but we still got this, the 2y plus 3 over here on the right-hand side. We need more workspace or a bigger computer screen. All right. Well, we now got y on both sides. Dang it. That's okay. We got this. I'm going to distribute that x. That's what I'm going to do. X times y. All right. And x plus x times 2. Okay. And then 2y plus 3. If I subtract 2y from both sides, I will have y on one side of my equation. So x times y plus 2x. There we go. Minus 2y equals 3. Yes. Okay, now that y is on one side, let's get everything else over there. First thing, let's get rid of this 2x here. Subtract 2x on both sides. Yes. X times y minus 2y equals 3 minus 2x. There, perfect. Okay, solving for y. What can we do? What can we do? Both these terms over here on the left have y in them. So I'm going to factor out that y, or think of it as undistributing the y. Y times the quantity of x minus 2. Yes, and that equals 3 minus 2x. All right, so y is being multiplied by quantity. Let's divide everything by x minus 2, and we are good. Mm-hmm. So we get y equals 3 minus 2, the quantity of 3 minus 2x divided by x minus 2. We did it! We solved for y. Let's go. Super cool. All right. Don't forget about step number 3, right? Just use the right notation. Communication is important. All right, so we know what we're talking about here. That way we know g of x, or g inverse. That's a terrible looking g. Let me do that again. I canceled that g. And the g inverse of x equals 3 minus 2x divided by the quantity of x minus 2. Yeah. Let's circle it. We did it. Yeah, about it. Would be happy to do more examples if it's needed. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Cool beans.